Can you describe the following pictures in one sentence English in 10 seconds? After watching the video, you can speak the pictures in one sentence English expression with into. Easy English speaking without memorization. One word English, into, the second session. Into is interchangeable with all the verbs listed on the screen. Before watching the video, please turn on the subtitle. And easy English speaking is one of the best ways to prepare for OPIC, IELTS speaking, and ETS TOEIC speaking. Let's review the last session. What is the basic meaning of into? Well, when you want to use the expression of into, then there should be three conditions. And these three conditions should be met. The first is the membrane or the surface of the location. So here is the membrane or the surface. And second, there should be an infiltration of the motion. So there is something here and something infiltrates the location. And finally, when the mover moves into the location through the infiltration, then there should be the friction or the shock. This shows the basic meaning of into. And the mascot gets into, right? Because first, there is the surface or the membrane of the net and the mascot gets into. This is the infiltration. And when the mascot gets into, there is a friction. So when you want to express this kind of scene with the expression of into, then you can say it like this: the mascot gets into the net, or the mascot slides into the net. Let's take this picture. Is this picture about into? Compared with the last scene, this picture is also related with the expression of into, because first, here is the infiltration, and second, yes, the notebook has some kind of surface here. And finally, when the baby gets the USB into the notebook, there seems to be some kind of shock, or the baby is pushing it down. So this picture is about into. In order to express this scene with one sentence English, then let's think about this. Okay, this scene is about into, then how can we use the expression into? When you want to express the expression into, then you have to think about this. First, you have to think that this is the scene for the expression of into. Then, next, we have to think about the mover. What is moved in this picture? You can say, oh, the movement of the motion, or movement or the motion is expressed by the USB. The baby is just sitting there and just standing there, but what changes the location is the USB. First, USB was somewhere here, right? And change of the location. So the mover is the USB. Second, what is the action? As we said, this action is related with the expression of into, right? So the USB into and the location of the USB, okay? So where is the USB? The USB is now in the notebook, right? So if you combine those three expressions, then you can make a kind of, some kind of expression like sentence or phrase, just like this. The USB into the notebook. But here raises a question, because did the USB move by itself? Did the USB move by itself? Did the USB have a lag and it moves into the notebook? No. It has no lag, so the USB was moved by the baby, right? Let's compare with this picture, because, well, the kind of ship, what is that? What is that? Oh, this is a fish, right? The fish jumps into the boat because nothing caused the fish jump, right? Nothing made the fish jump into the boat, right? The fish jumped into the boat because he volunteered to do that, right? So this is just a kind of a voluntary motion. However, the location change of the USB was experienced not by the USB itself, but by the baby. So you have to express the causa of the movement of the USB. And what is the manner of the motion? How did the USB move? If you don't know the specific word for it, then just use get. Get is the perfect word. If you don't know this the specific word for it, then you can use get. But if you know the word, then you can use the word, in this case the verb, right? So plug, for example, in this case plug is used as verb, right? So if you just think about these 5 components for this scene: first, causer; next, manner of motion; third, mover; fourth, action and result and place. If you think about these 5 components, then you can make one sentence, because first, what is the causa of the movement? Because of something, right? Why did the USB move? Because of something, right? Because of something, right? So you have to place because of something here. So because of something, because of who? Because of the baby, right? The baby comes first here, and next, manner of motion. How did the USB move? If you know the specific word for it, you can just use it. But if you don't know, then you can use get, okay? The baby get. Second, what was moved? The USB, right? And the fourth, action. The action is the central part of this sentence. So the action is into, and the result and place is the notebook, right? So you can say it just like this: the baby get the USB into the notebook, right? The baby get the USB into the notebook, right? But if you know the manner of motion with a specific verb, then you can just use it like this: the baby plugged the USB into the notebook, okay? This is the basic meaning of into, as I said, right? How about this? Is this picture about into? No, because there's no infiltration into the bottle, and there's no, issue of the surface, right? And there seems to be some kind of friction, but this friction has nothing to do with the infiltration, right? So this picture is not about into, but about off. Then you may ask me a question like this: what is off? We are going to deal with this issue in the next video, so pay attention to my YouTube channel. Let's move on to the next picture. Is this picture about into? Yes, this picture is about into, because first of all, there seems to be an infiltration of the swimming cap into the boy's head, right? And second, when the swimming cap gets into the head of the baby, then there is some kind of water spray. This is friction and the shock, right? Of course, the boy has some kind of surface part of his head, so it is about the into. Then we are going to think about these 5 questions, right? What is the mover? What was moved? Was it the man or the swimming cap? Yes. It is a swimming cap. It is the swimming cap, because if you take a look at this, the swimming cap flies around, right? Flies over, and it gets into the boy's head, right? Take a look at this. What is moved was the swimming cap. Then what is the action? This scene is mainly related with the word into, right? Third, as a result, where is the swimming cap? The swimming cap is now swimming cap is on the boy's head, right? So the swimming cap into his son's head, the boy's head, right? This is the phrase, but we want to make a sentence, right? So did the swimming cap move by itself? No, by this man, right? The man threw it, right? The swimming cap does not have a leg, right? It doesn't have a leg, so it cannot move by itself, right? The change of the location of the swimming cap was caused by this man, right? How about this one? Let's compare it with this picture. Did the fox move because of something? Did something make the fox jump into the ice? No, the fox voluntarily jumped. There's nobody around the fox, right? So the fox moved because of himself, by itself, right? However, in this picture, the swimming cap was moved by this man, so the causer of the motion, the causer of the movement of the swimming cap should be expressed of the manner of the motion. If you know the word for it, in this case the verb, then if you don't know about the word, then you can use get, as I said. But if you know the specific word for it, you can just use it. In this case, I'm going to use the verb throw. So let's make a sentence with this table. What is the causer? What is the motion? What is the motion of the swimming cap caused by something, right? The causer of the movement of the swimming cap was the man, right? Manner of the motion. How did the man change the location of the swimming cap? If you know the specific word for it, you can use it. But if you don't, just use verb get, okay? And third, what was moved? The swimming cap, and the action, the center part of this sentence, is into. And the result as state is into, the boy said. So you can just make a sentence like this. The man get the swimming cap into his son's head. But if you know the specific word for the manner of the motion, you can use it just like this. The man throws the swimming cap into his son's head. This shows the basic meaning of into. First, there seems to be a membrane, the surface, in this case this t-shirt, right? And the infiltration or the friction, right? Some kind of the friction. So she moves, she shakes, right? So this is the basic meaning of into, of course. But if you take a look at this, is this picture about into? Yes, because if you take a look at this, then there is a kind of the infiltration of the arrow into the frisbee. And as you know, the frisbee has some kind of surface or the membranes, and when the arrow gets into the frisbee, it makes the frisbee get down, right? So this is picture about into because three conditions are perfectly met. Then we have to think about these 5 questions. First, what is the mover? Did the child move? No. What was moved was the arrow. And second, what is the action? As we said, this is about into. And third, as a result, where is the arrow? The arrow is now in the frisbee, right? In the frisbee. So, if you want to make a phrase with this in, then just you can say like this: the arrow into the frisbee, right? Right? But this is just a phrase, so we want to make a kind of sentence, right? Did the arrow move by itself? No, it was just shot by the child. So the child seems to be an important information. You have to use it, right? The child is an important information. So the causer of the movement of the arrow should be expressed. And what is the manner of the motion of the arrow? If you know the word for it, then you can just say the word, say the verb. But if you don't know the word, use get. Okay, if you know the word, you can use. In this case, I'm going to use shoot, verb, right? So you can make a sentence about this scene based upon this table. The first information that you should say is about the causer. Who caused the movement of the arrow? The causer was the baby, right? The baby or the child. Manner of the motion. If you know the specific word for the movement of the manner of the motion, then you can use the word. But if you don't, use get, okay? So the causer, the baby, get, the mover, the arrow, in action into, and result and state, frisbee. So you can just say like this: the child get the arrow into the frisbee. However, if you know the specific word for the manner of the motion, you can say like this: the child shoots the arrow into the frisbee. Summary. Use of into when the causer is not present. Then you can use the mover and manner of motion verb get or something, and into and result location. So for example, you can say like this: well, the mascot gets into the net, or the mascot slides into the net, or the man, well, just bumps into a woman bumps into a man, right? Or the shark or the fish gets into the boat, or the fish flies into the boat, or the fish jumps into the boat, right? These are all related with the use of the into when the causer is not present, when the motion was caused by the mover itself, right? However, use of motion when the causer was present. So for example, when the baby shoots the arrow into the frisbee, or when the baby, well, plugs the USB into the notebook, or when the man throws the swimming cap into his son's head, then you can just say like this. The first thing that you should say is about the causer, because the causer is one of the most important information for your expression, and the manner of motion verb, something like get, right? And the mover, what was the move, right? So for example, the USB or the swimming cap or the arrow, right? When these mover into the result location, somewhere like notebook or frisbee or things like that, right? So if you remember the basic word order for it, then you can use it anywhere without thinking about the verse. Because in this case, verb does not, well, show some important information. All the important informations are just expressed by the use of get, by the use of into, by the use of into, okay? Into is one of the most important part of the information for this sentence. Practice more at our Facebook Messenger AI chatbot, Easy English Speaking. If you write down the password code Michael Jordan, then you can practice more with our AI chatbot about these two pictures. These two pictures are also related with the use of into, right? And if you liked our video, please hit the button of thumbs up and please hit the button of subscribe. We are going to come back with the better video for you to use the English sentence. Thanks for watching.